Do not release a record while moving continents. Ready? Yo, what's up everybody? Ben Musterka here. Guitarist and composer, touring musician and producer, avid world traveler. Coming at you from my studio here in the Bay Area. Just made a record called Off the Grid, recorded in Shanghai, China, with musicians from all over the world. And not long after I recorded it, I moved continents. I picked up my life and started over here in the Bay Area. Revoltroned the band, if you will, with some incredible and legendary Bay Area musicians who I will be making the next record with. Moving your life during the release of a record, not recommended. I'll include the link, Spotify, Off the Grid. Check it out. I think you will dig it. And there's a really great story behind this record, which is what I want to share with you in these couple of video series called The Story of Off the Grid. So I hope you dig it. So the first part in Story of Off the Grid, I want to talk about the name of the record and where did that come from. And there's a couple things about living in Shanghai as a foreigner. There's 4 of them that I'm going to talk about. The last one's going to trip you out, so make sure to stay tuned. So in America, you're kind of tied into this credit system, you know, if you want to like do anything as an adult. So at the time I was in Shanghai, it was vastly a cash-based economy. You know, it's changed a lot now that now everything is done by WeChat, like an app. Now everything's app-related. But at that time, when I was living there, it was just using cash all the time. The second thing is not really needing an ID. Not needing an ID in the way that you do in America to do everything. I don't look that old, but I mean, come on, dude. You know, you're gonna ID me to go into a bar in America? Like, this is what we're worried about? This is the problems that you're worried about? So one nice thing about living in Shanghai, you don't really have to carry an ID on you unless you're doing some kind of like passport where you're gonna have to renew your visa or you'll need an actual passport. Another thing is social media. You know, in China, as I'm sure you've heard of the Great Firewall, you know, I had a VPN and you still use Facebook and stuff, but when I moved away, Instagram was still a relatively new thing and I hadn't gotten on Instagram. So by the time I came back to America, Instagram was everything. And then finally, like a year later, I'm like, man, I'm just going to have to do this as a musician. For many years, I didn't have it and I didn't even know what it was. It was great. And now look at me, here I am making videos. And the last thing, this is a really good one. Feeling a bit removed from the news and the normal politics that are happening in America. Living abroad, I felt more lumped into being an American and being a foreigner rather than just being so, every little teeny thing means you're this kind of person or that kind of person in America. It's so silly. And when you live outside of the country, you really see what it's like to not have that and to not be worried about what certain people are saying every day and like who tweeted this from the toilet and blah, 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 you know? And just being removed from that, being so far away. And like, of course I stayed up with the news here and there, but it just wasn't, I felt disconnected from it in a good way. So those are really great things about living abroad. And it was a very liberating time and in a way more free than I am in America. And so that is why this record is called Off the Grid.